Hi guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Now today, this is going back over the championship results of the weekend and obviously having a look at the table and what that means for certain clubs. I'm not going to start with Reading this time. I'm literally going to go through Sunday's games, which have all finished now, and then we'll go on to Saturday. So we're going to start off with the first game of the day, and that was Swansea City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. An interesting game that in the end. I mean, for Sheffield Wednesday, it's probably not the best time to lose games as they're trying to get into that part of the playoffs. But I think, to be fair, it may be their time done now. For Swansea, that's a confident win. It's a good win for them, and it pushes them on to what they're hoping to do. And obviously, we'll have a look at the table at the end. Moving on to Middlesbrough 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Queen's Park Rangers are one of those sides that are in the middle batch of teams that are safe. They can start planning for next season while finishing these games. And for Middlesbrough, they are still in that relegation fight. It's not been a fantastic honeymoon period for Mr. Warnock, but that does still leave Middlesbrough in trouble. An entertaining game over a 6-goal thriller at the Hawthorns is West Bromwich Albion 4, Hull City 2. Now, again, for Hull, the defeat is not great. It certainly knocks them down again towards the relegation zone. But for West Brom, gives them a little bit of, not breathing space as such, but a little bit more, they can relax a little bit with the way that Fulham, Brentford and Nottingham Forest, as we'll find out, have all done this weekend. So those were Sunday's games, guys. So we're just going to move my mouse across. And here we go. So we started off with the lunchtime kickoff, Derby County versus Nottingham Forest. Probably one of the big Midlands derbies that you can get. Nottingham Forest had taken the lead in that one, and it was looking pretty much like Nottingham Forest had won the derby. So much so that we're hearing a fan had jumped into the canal. Yes, he wasn't so happy when he got out the canal, as Derby County had equalised in the 96th, 97th minute, I believe it was. So that's a wonderful draw for Derby. It keeps their hopes of the playoffs alive, and for Nottingham Forest it does, but that certainly does now cancel out any hope Nottingham Forest had of finishing second. So we move on. Blackburn 1, Leeds United 3. I guess a confident win for Leeds. A very good away performance. Blackburn have come off the boil a little bit. I think they'll have a better season next year, and certainly I think they'll be there or thereabouts next year. But this season's ended a little bit early for them. I think their playoff hopes are maybe a little bit out now, but I could be wrong. So, Brentford 3, Wigan 0. Another comprehensive win for Brentford after their demolition job of us last week. For Wigan, obviously, they've had difficult news this week of the administration. We don't know what's going to happen with the 12 points yet. So they need to get as many points as they can in case they do get it this season, and that defeat's not going to help them. Bristol City versus Cardiff City. Now, we hear this being called an M4 derby. I have my own views on that, but it is a derby in a sense, and obviously Bristol City being at home, you would have expected them to get a better result here. Cardiff have come into this on some interesting form. Like I say, they had that win against Leeds, and now they've got another clean sheet and a win away at Bristol City. So they're pushing, definitely looking like they're on a roll at the moment. Fulham 1, Birmingham City 0. Now, this was a very late goal from Fulham, so massive credit to Birmingham for holding them for as long as they did. For Fulham, obviously, they needed the points. They are certainly on course for their chance in the playoffs or even getting second. So it's definitely a good result for them. And like I said, we will be having a look at the table in a bit. Huddersfield Town 0, Preston North End 0. Two sides that seasons have kind of stopped. Preston, they are still mathematically, I think, able to make the playoffs, but they're not getting the results to suggest that. For Huddersfield Town, it's another point towards survival, and they've probably just about done enough, but again, obviously, we will look at the table. Luton Town 0, Reading 5. For me, the result shocked me more than anything else. The way that we played against Brentford, I was just hoping that we could at least turn up and perform, and they've done that. We're not going to win 5-0 every week. You know, I think, as I said, I've got a few friends that are Luton fans, and I'm not being arrogant or, you know, anything like that. At the end of the day, yes, it's a comprehensive win, but it's a win. It's one win. You know, it doesn't mean anything at the moment. Our season, like I said, is pretty much done. It doesn't change any views that I've got. Like I said, still don't think Mark Bone's the right man to take Reading forward. I do still think there's a lot of changes that need to be happening at the club, and I know you must be thinking, like, when you've won 5-0, you must be over the moon. Yeah, I am over the moon, don't get me wrong, but it's one win. Let's not get carried away, you know. If we go and get slapped by Huddersfield on Tuesday, it's back to square one. So, yes, it's a great win for Reading, and it could keep us, you know, safe as such. But I'm not going to get overly carried away by it. For Luton, yes, it was a poor performance. I've seen a lot of their reviews from their fans. They weren't happy with the way they played. Obviously, they did gift us a couple of the goals as well. So they're not going to be overly happy about their overall performance. But I'm sure they'll be fine, and this was just a one-off and a blip. Stoke City 4, Barnsley 0. Now, for Stoke, that's a more comprehensive result, I'd say, than ours. Barnsley have been on fantastic form. And that is a seriously good result for Stoke. And obviously, when we have a look at the table, we'll see what that does for that. Obviously, on the Friday night, we had the Charlton and Millwall game. I didn't actually get that into my predictions, and it finished 1-0 to Millwall. It was a good win for Millwall in that London derby. For Charlton, it probably doesn't help them, to be fair. So, we're just going to now... if I can get my mouse to work, have a look at the Championship table, and we can discuss that in a bit more depth. Okay, so after the weekend's results, Leeds are still top of the Championship on 78 points. West Brom have closed that gap to 1 on 77. Brentford are in third on 72 points, Fulham on 70, and Nottingham Forest on 68. Cardiff City are in 6th on 64. So the chasing pack, 7th is Derby County on 61, Swansea City on 60, Millwall on 59, Preston on 58, and Blackburn on 56. So it's still doable, I think, having a look at the table there. 64 Cardiff, so 10 points back on 54. Yeah, you'd probably say, let's say Blackburn at 11th. Bristol City are on 55, so they would need a really good run, to be fair. And then we have in 12th, Bristol, as I said, on 13th is Queen's Park Rangers on 53. Reading are up to 14th on 52. Sheffield Wednesday and Wigan are in that mid-table batch on 52 and 50, respectfully. And then the bottom sides, 17th is Birmingham on 49. 18th is Stoke on 46. There's a group of teams on 46. 19th is Charlton on 46. Huddersfield in 20th on 46. Hull on 45. Middlesbrough have dropped into the bottom three on 44. Barnsley are on 41. And Luton Town are bottom at the moment on 40 points, 5 from safety. So it's still very tight down there. It's still very open. I think, for me, as a Reading fan, we are, if I have a look, we're 8 points. See, we're 8 points from safety, so we're not completely safe yet. Sheffield Wednesday as well, 8 points. See, Wigan are 6 points from safety. So it's still very tight down there with Birmingham, Stoke, Charlton, Huddersfield, Hull as well, looking over their shoulders. There's only a point separating Middlesbrough in 22nd and Hull and Huddersfield, Charlton, Stoke. So there's only a 2-point gap, between those sides from 18th down to 22nd. So it's still very, very tight in the Championship. I do still think that Luton and Barnsley, have got a massive opportunity. They're not dead and buried yet. 1 win for Barnsley, and they're on level points with Middlesbrough and Hull, who aren't picking up results at the moment. So I think, to put my neck on the line, the relegation, taking the Wigan situation out of it at the moment, Luton, Barnsley, Middlesbrough, Hull, Huddersfield, Charlton, Stoke, Birmingham, just about. And then I think that's where you'd have to leave it. So guys, that concludes the look back at the Championship results of the weekend. I'll be back hopefully either tomorrow or Tuesday to do the predictions for the games coming up. If you're new around here, please like and subscribe. All the support on the channel is massively appreciated. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to do videos on. Obviously, Monday night we do have the second legs of the League One playoffs, so we will have a review and a preview of that as well coming up. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening and take care, and thank you very much for watching.